University Challenge. Asking the questions, Amol Rajan.
Hello and welcome to another first-round match in this year's University Challenge. Half this series' teams have now played once and half of them are safely through to round two, while 205 is currently the top score among the losers. Tonight's teams are representing a pair of institutions that are at opposite ends of several spectrums, one being nearly 700 years older and the other more than 300 times larger. When he first came to power in 1964, Harold Wilson tasked Arts Minister Jenny Lee with realising his idea for a University of the Air, which would use radio and television to deliver courses remotely and so make higher education available to a wider range of people. To emphasise the aim of removing barriers to access, Lee called it the Open University, and it's now the UK's largest, with over 200,000 students. Alumni include the chef Nadia Hussain, the psychologist Gordon Pask, and two teams of University Challenge champions. Let's meet the team, hoping to be the third.
Hi, I'm Ellie Romans. I live in Oxfordshire and I'm studying nursing.
Hi, I'm Mike Holt. I'm from Wilmslow in Cheshire and I'm studying towards the Open degree.
And their captain?
Hi, I'm Anne Gavigan. I'm from London and I'm studying art and architectural history.
Hi, I'm James Davidson. I'm originally from Fraserburgh in Aberdeenshire and I'm studying English literature.
Hertford College, Oxford started out as one of the university's medieval halls, which, like halls of residence in the modern sense, were initially just official student accommodation. Gradually, however, they became functionally indistinguishable from the university's colleges and were eventually all either refounded or incorporated with full collegiate status. Today, Hertford stands out in the central Oxford crowd thanks to the Bridge of Sighs, linking its old and new quads. And its alumni include the writer Alain Leroy-Locke, the journalist Carol Cadwallader and the naturalist Gavin Maxwell. Let's meet the team representing it tonight.
Hi, I'm Ollie Sauerbert. I'm from Bath originally, and I'm reading for a DPhil in Autonomous Intelligent Machines and Systems.
Hello, I'm Amol Rajan. I'm from South London, and I'm studying computer science.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Daniel Whittle. I'm originally from near Manchester, but grew up in part in Saskatchewan in Canada, and I'm reading for a DPhil in classical reception.
Hi, I'm Rupavardhani Balakrishnan Raju. I'm from India, and I'm reading for a DPhil in law.
I'm sure you don't need to be told how to play this game, but just in case, starter questions are answered on the buzzer. They're worth 10 points, and you must answer without conferring. A correct answer also earns your team the chance to answer 3 bonus questions on which you can confirm. Fingers on buzzers then. Here's your first starter for 10. Also known for the development of the lambda calculus, which US mathematician is named along with Alan Turing?
Hartford Keskin.
Church.
It is Alonzo Church, yes. Your bonuses, Hartford, are on the recent winners of the Baillie Gifford Prize for non-fiction. First, The Five by Hallie Rubenhold concerns Polly, Annie, Elizabeth, Catherine and Mary Jane, who were all killed in 1888. One review describes it as calling time on the misogyny of the myth of which figure named in the subtitle?
Check to the push.
Nominate Keskin.
Check to the push.
Correct. Patrick Radden Keefe's 2021 winner, Empire of Pain, is subtitled The Secret History of which US pharmaceutical dynasty implicated in the opioid crisis?
Sackler. Sackler.
It is the Sacklers. Finally, in 2022, Catherine Rundell became the youngest winner of the prize for her biography of which metaphysical poet whom she describes as the greatest writer of desire in the English language?
Could be Don.
Anything else?
Metaphysical.
Metaphysical. Do you want to go Don?
Norton.
Don?
It is John Donne. Another starter question, introduced by John Berger in Ways of Seeing and known by a 2-word term.
Hartford Keskin.
Male case.
It is male case. Well done. Your bonus questions, Hartford, are on universities named after prominent thinkers. First, a university in Thessaloniki in Greece bears the name of which philosopher born
Aristotle.
Correct. Which large capital city is home to a university named after the 13th century polymath known as Al-Tusi, after his birthplace in the region of Khorasan?
Probably Tehran.
Nominate Keskin.
Tehran.
It is Tehran. Finally, born in 1469, which humanist scholar and theologian gives his name to a university in Rotterdam in the Netherlands?
Erasmus. Erasmus.
It is Erasmus. Another starter question now. Said to be based on a document containing the recipe for an elixir of long life and now made with some 130 herbs and plants, what liqueur is named after an order of monks who still produce it?
Openholt.
Benedictine?
No, and I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Who still produce it today. It gives its name to a shade of green.
Haferkesken.
Trappist.
No, it's a chartreuse. Another starter question. Working with his muse Thomas McKellar, whom he often painted as a figure from classical mythology, which artist settled in Chelsea in 1884 and became a successful society portraitist? One of his best-known works is a portrait of the socialite Madame Pierre.
Haferkesken.
Sergeant.
It is John Singer Sargent, yes. Your bonuses, Hertford, are on keystone species listed in a 2022 report published by the scientific journal Ecography. The report stated that reintroduction to their ecosystems would play a pivotal role in tackling climate change and biodiversity loss. First, named after a Russian geographer and explorer, which short, muscular-bodied horse is also known as the Asiatic wild horse or Mongolian wild horse. They were extinct in the wild from around 1969 to 2008.
Nominate Salbert.
Przewalski.
Przewalski's horse is correct, yes. Second, found in Eastern and Southern Asia, which canid is also known as a whistling dog, Asiatic wild dog and red dog? I need a short, single-word name.
Dingo is Australian.
Dingo, yeah. Coyote is the wrong continent.
Anything?
I can't think of anything.
Anything? No. Clifford.
No, it's the Dole, or D-H-O-L-E. Which carnivore with a ferocious reputation has nicknames including skunk, bear and glutton? Inhabiting northern latitudes, it is the largest land-dwelling mustelid.
Wolverine.
Oh, Wolverine.
Correct. Another starter question now. This is a picture round. For your picture starter, you'll see a historic English county highlighted on a map. For 10 points, name this county.
Hartford Whittle.
Rutland.
No.
Open Romans.
Hertfordshire.
No, it's Middlesex. This is another starter. We'll take your picture bonuses when we get a starter question right. The characteristic rash of what disease results from the delivery of viral particles by infected T cells to skin cells, where localized infection and viral replication results in pustules primarily on the chest, back and face? The virus that causes this disease remains in the body and can reactivate later in life, causing shingles.
Hertford Salbert.
Chickenpox.
It is chickenpox, yeah. Your picture bonuses then, Hertford. That was Middlesex, which is also the title of a 2002 novel by the US author Jeffrey Eugenides. For your bonuses, you'll see 3 more maps highlighting a place that shares its name with a novel, along with the year of that novel's publication. In each case, I need the name of the novel and its author. First, this novel and its author.
Where is that?
It's in Scotland. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Any idea?
I don't know.
Should we
Nothing comes to
pass?
mind.
Pass.
It is in Scotland, yeah. Lanark and Alistair Gray. Secondly,
Oh.
That's Devon, isn't it?
What's the author? I don't know. Is it Poldark or something? Poldark. Could I
Yeah, sure, I'll nominate
I
you.
don't know the author.
Have a guess. Nominate Salbert.
Poldark and Smith.
no, it's Westward Ho and Charles Kingsley. And finally,
I have absolutely no idea. Any guess? No, we'll pass.
Okay.
Pass.
that's Kenilworth and Walter Scott. Plenty of time open. See if you can get going with this one. Coined by analogy with a term applied to the works of writers such as Bruce Sterling and William Gibson, what name did K.W. Jeter propose in 1987 for a subgenre of science fiction?
Haferkesken.
Cyberpunk.
No, you lose 5 points. For a subgenre of science fiction that he also called Victorian fantasies, typically set in the 19th century.
Open Davidson.
Steampunk.
Steampunk is correct, yes. Your 3 bonuses open are on soundtracks by the composer Hilda Gustnadottir. Gustnadottir's work for television includes the soundtrack for which 2019 miniseries created by Craig Mazin. Her score made heavy use of field recordings captured at a decommissioned power plant.
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's correct. Next, together with Lasse Enesson, Gustnadottir scored a 2017 biopic of which cult artist born in Karina in 1920 and known for distinctive homoerotic drawings of muscular men? You may give either his real name or his 3-word
Tom
pseudonym.
of Finland.
Correct. In 2020, Gustnadottir won the Academy Award for Best Original Score for her work on which
Joker.
film? Correct. Another starter question now. In 1914, which city on the Arabian Sea was the largest grain exporting port of the British Empire? The birthplace of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Benazir Bhutto. It was the federal capital of Pakistan from 1947 to 1959.
Haferkesken.
Lahore.
No, and I'm afraid you lose 5 points from 1947 to 1959.
Open Gaffigan.
Islamabad.
No, it's Karachi. Another starter question. In the 1970s, the British philosopher Richard Ryder introduced what term derived from the name of a taxonomic rank for a type of wild...
Hartford Keskin.
Speciesism.
It is speciesism, yes. Your bonuses then, Hertford, are on members of England's 2022 Women's European Championship football squad. In each case, give the surname that matches the definition of the word provided. First, an Old English word for an alcoholic beverage created by the fermentation of a mixture of honey and water.
Is it mead?
Yeah. Mead.
It's in Bethmead, yes. The plant Cannabis sativa, grown for its fibrous stalks that are used for cordage and coarse fabrics.
Hemp.
As in Lauren Hemp, correct. Finally, a metal alloy used, for example, by Edvard Eriksson for the statue The Little Mermaid.
Is it bronze?
Yeah. Bronze.
Bronze, as in Lucy Bronze, is correct, yes. Another starter question now. First published in 1816 alongside Kubla Khan and The Pains of Sleep, which unfinished Gothic ballad by Samuel Taylor Coleridge narrates an encounter between the title character and Geraldine, a vampiric figure who seduces and enchants her? I need a single given name, which is shared with a notable British suffragist.
Open Romans.
Emily?
No.
Hertford Whittle.
Pankhurst.
Bad luck, it's Christabel. Another starter question. What two-letter word begins all of these expressions taken from French? An exclamation meaning no, the opposite, an idiom meaning to be thoroughly informed on a subject, and a person who carries out housework or childcare in exchange...
Hertford Salbut.
OAU.
Correct. Your bonuses, Hertford, are 3 questions whose answers begin with the same 3 letters. Named after the East Sussex town where it was said to have been excavated, what 2-word name is given to the hoax fossil that archaeologist Charles Dawson claimed was a missing link between humans and apes?
Piltdown.
Yeah, that's it. Piltdown.
Should I nominate? Yeah. Nominate Keskin.
Piltdown.
Correct. Referring to a mythological figure, what is the 3-word name by which the 2 promontories, known in ancient times as Calpe and Abila, were together known?
Something.
Should I pass?
Pleiades, maybe.
Nominate Keskin.
Pleiades.
No, it's the Pillars of Hercules.
Oh, sorry.
Finally, after a city to the west of Prague, what term denotes a widespread type of pale-coloured beer?
Pilsner. Pilsner.
Correct. Another starter question then. Of obscure origin, what short name is usually given to the form of coastal defence similar to a breakwater that is mainly used as a protection against the movement of sediment along a beach? And it's
Hertford Salbut.
Groin.
Groin is correct. 3 questions for you, Hertford, on the Soviet sculptor Vera Mukhina and her works. In 1939, Mukhina won a commission for a monument to which Russian writer in what is now Nizhny Novgorod, his city of birth? The monument was one of several gestures made by Stalin to honour him after his return to the USSR.
Could be Gorky.
Gorky. Gorky.
It is Maxim Gorky. Born in 1840, which Russian composer is commemorated in a statue by Mukhina in the courtyard of the Moscow Conservatory? He was the first professor of theory and harmony there and is honoured in the conservatory's full official name.
Possibly Rimsky-Korsakov.
Rimsky-Korsakov.
Was he born in 1840?
It seems a bit late, doesn't it? But he was a professor.
Okay, we'll go with that. Rimsky-Korsakov.
No, that's Tchaikovsky.
Oh.
Exemplified by Mukhina's monumental sculpture, Worker and Kolkhoz Woman, what 2-word term is usually used to denote the official art style of the Soviet Union, characterised by highly optimistic depictions of Soviet life and communist values?
Socialist realism.
Oh, yes. Socialist realism.
It's correct, it is socialist realism. We'll take a music round now. For your music starter, you will hear a piece of popular music. For 10 points, name the vocalist.
Open Gavigan.
Joan Jett.
It was Joan Jett, yeah. Bad Reputation from 1981. So you just heard Joan Jett performing Bad Reputation, one of her signature songs. Your music bonuses are 3 more influential female vocalists from the punk era of the 1970s and 1980s. 5 points for each you can name. First, this singer.
Jesus died for somebody's
Patti Smith?
sins, but not mine.
Patti Smith.
It is Patti Smith. Second, you may name the singer or the band with this one.
I think it's I'm not sure. Is it polystyrene? Polystyrene?
Correct. Finally, the vocalist performing here.
this Susie Sue? Susie Sue?
It is Susie Sue, yeah. Now the starter question then. Which musician and songwriter was the subject of a 2022 documentary by Brett Morgan entitled Moon Age Daydream, the first to be authorised by his estate? Its title is that of a track that appears along with Suffragette City and Starman on a...
Open Gavigan.
David Bowie?
It is David Bowie, yeah. 3 questions for you, Open, on astronomical catalogues. First, created between 1950 and 2013, the 10 Cambridge catalogues list celestial sources of waves from what part of the electromagnetic spectrum? They include sources within a range of frequencies between 38 megahertz and 15.7 gigahertz.
Is that somewhere to you? Radio?
Radio waves, yeah. Well, because radio waves is just, well.
Nominate Hole?
Radio waves.
Radio is correct. Though it does not survive in full to the present, the first major Western catalogue of stars was created by which Greek astronomer? An ESA satellite named after him created a more precise catalogue of over 100,000 stars between 1989 and 1993.
Ptolemy?
No, he's Greek. Sorry,
It's
Greek.
Yeah. Okay. Ptolemy?
That's Hipparchus. Created to help with his work hunting comets, and still in use today, an eclectic catalogue of deep sky objects was published in 1781 by which French astronomer?
So what did you say?
1781.
Leverrier, maybe?
Great. Nominate Romans?
Leverrier?
No, it's Charles Messier. Another starter question now. I need the name of a country here. Ivan Shishman, Kaloyan and Simeon the Great were among the longest ruling Tsars of empires centred on which...
Hartford Keskin.
Bulgaria.
It is Bulgaria, yes. Your 3 bonuses, Hertford, are on the Republic of North Macedonia. Forming more than 20% of the population, what is the largest minority ethnic group in North Macedonia? This group is a majority in neighbouring Kosovo.
Albanian.
Yeah.
Albanian.
It is Albanians. Second, a UNESCO World Heritage Site on the borders of North Macedonia and Albania. What is the deepest lake in the Balkans? It is a little smaller than Loch Ness in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, no idea.
Pass.
Lake Ohrid. Finally, in March 2022, North Macedonia beat which leading footballing nation 1-0 in a playoff semi-final before the 2022 FIFA World Cup?
Italy.
It was Italy, yeah. Another starter question. In Romeo and Juliet, which character does the nurse describe as a man of wax on learning that Lady Capulet has proposed him as a suitor of Juliet? He shares his name with a character in Greek mythology, a son of Priam and the slayer of Achilles.
Hartford Keskin.
Hector.
No.
Open Davidson.
Paris.
It is Paris. Your bonuses then, Open, are on ancient Egypt. The successor to Akhenaten, which Egyptian king of the 18th dynasty died at the age of around 18 in 1323 BC?
Tutankhamun?
Correct. Appearing within the letters of the name Tutankhamun, what 4-letter word refers to the ancient Egyptian symbol of eternal life, represented by a cross with a loop top?
Ankh?
Correct. Which archaeologist led the 1922 expedition financed by Lord Carnarvon that excavated the tomb of Tutankhamun?
Howard Carter?
Correct, yes. Now the starter question then. What is the value of the spin quantum number of the isotope fluorine-19 that makes it a particularly useful isotope for nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy analysis?
Hartford Keskin.
1/2.
Yes, it is 1/2. Your bonus questions, Hertford, are on theatre. First, often cited as an influence on Hamlet, which Elizabethan stage work includes a play within a play entitled Solomon and Poseida, devised by Don Hieronymo with the aim of entrapping the murderers of his son?
Spanish tragedy, maybe.
Nominate Keskin.
Spanish tragedy.
Yeah, it is by Thomas Kidd, yeah. First performed in 1779 and subtitled A Tragedy Rehearsed, The Critic is a satirical work by which playwright? Its characters include Dangle and Sneer, 2 theatre critics who review a tragedy entitled The Spanish Armada.
Could be Sheridan.
Sheridan.
Maybe.
Sheridan.
It is Sheridan. In which work by Chekhov does Arkadina arrive on holiday at the Nikolaev summer home where her son Konstantin is about to premiere his new avant-garde play?
Seagull.
Seagull.
That is The Seagull, yeah. 7.5 minutes left, plenty of time for you, Open. We're going to take a picture starter now, and for your picture starter, you'll see an image of a sacred mountain. For 10 points, please give me the name of the mountain.
Open Davidson.
Sinai.
No.
Hertford Balakrishna Raju.
Ararat.
Correct. That was an image of Mount Ararat in Turkey, which is sacred in Judaism, Christianity and Islam. and is traditionally the place where Noah's Ark came to rest after the flood. Your bonuses then, Hertford, are 3 more sacred mountains. Simply name the mountain in each case. Firstly?
This has to be in the Himalayas, the Buddhist flags. Do you think it's Kailash?
Could be, yeah.
Kailash.
It is Kailash, yes. Secondly?
Fuji,
Fuji.
probably. Is it?
Looks like.
Go with it, I can't think of it.
Fuji.
No, that's Kilimanjaro, which is sacred to the Chaga people. And finally?
This could be Fuji. Looks densely
think?
populated.
Yeah, could be.
Fuji.
That one is Fuji, yes. Let's start a question then. The postal code FIQQ1ZZ and the internet country code .FK relate to which island group? A British...
Open Romans.
Falkland Islands?
It is the Falkland Islands, yes. Your bonus questions then open are on the video game series God of War. In the original 2005 God of War game, the protagonist Kratos goes on a quest in search of what specific object? In Greek mythology, it belonged to the wife of Epimetheus.
Nominate Davidson.
Pandora's box.
It is Pandora's box. Set many years later, the 2018 reboot sees Kratos accompanied by what new character? His son. He shares his name with a king of Mycenae, the father of Agamemnon and Menelaus.
I can't remember his name.
Argos. No,
Yeah,
Argos. I thought Argos. Nominate Romans.
Argos?
No, it's Atreus. Released in November 2022, what is the subtitle of the most recent God of War game? It refers to an apocalyptic battle of Norse...
Ragnarok.
It is Ragnarok, yes. Another starter question now. Marking its 25th anniversary in 2022, which film depicts historical figures including John Jacob Astor IV, Molly...
Open Gavigan.
Titanic.
It is Titanic, yes. Your bonuses then open are on a critical theorist. Born in Paris in 1931, Guy Debord was a leading member of the movement known in English by the initials SI that critiqued and challenged advanced capitalism. For what does the letter S stand in this abbreviation?
Okay. Social.
No, it's situationism or situationist. What single word completes the phrase coined by Debord and used as the title of a work of 1967 to describe an era of advanced capitalism where everything that was once directly lived has become mere representation? The Society of the...
Nah. Any idea?
Pass.
The Society of the Spectacle. Situationist ideas became influential during the general strike and civil unrest that began in Paris in May of what year?
1968.
It is 68, yes. 4.5 minutes to go. In the 2022 Commonwealth Games, Miles Hesson made a 2-point shot in overtime to secure gold for England in which specific sport played at the Games for the first time after making its Olympic debut in 2021?
Hertford Salbut.
Basketball.
I need more than that. Goes over. Anyone have a guess?
Open Romans.
3-a-side basketball.
3x3 basketball is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on films with screenplays by J. Preston Allen. Give the title of each film from the description. First, an adaptation of a 1961 novel set in the Marcia Blaine School for Girls in Edinburgh. Maggie Smith plays
The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie.
Correct. A 1964 film by Alfred Hitchcock, based on a novel by Winston Graham. The title character, played by Tippi Hedren, is a con
Nominate
artist.
Davidson.
Marnie.
Correct. Finally, a 1972 film directed by Bob Fosse, adapted by Allen from a stage...
Cabaret.
It is Cabaret. Another starter question. What short term is used in all these ways? In statistical hypothesis testing, for 1 minus the probability of type 2 error, in mathematics, for the index or exponent of a real number, and in physics, for the rate at which work is done.
Hertford Kinskin.
Power.
It is power, yes. 3 questions in Hertford on the cell cycle in biology. Progression through the cell cycle is monitored at 3 major stages to prevent DNA damage and cell death. By analogy to human security measures, what name is given to these events during which the cell decides to either proceed or terminate division?
Checkpoint. I'm not sure.
Something to do with security, can you think of anything?
Checkpoint.
Come on.
Checkpoint.
It is checkpoints. Progression through checkpoints is signalled by CDKs, a group of kinase proteins activated by binding to their partners, belonging to which family of regulatory proteins?
Regulatory proteins.
Pass.
Cyclins. The so-called spindle checkpoint ensures the proper segregation of chromosomes between daughter cells. It occurs at the boundary between which 2 phases of mitosis?
Is it anaphase? Prophase and what's the next one?
I think preface and anaphase.
Prophase and anaphase.
Prophase, anaphase.
Prophase and anaphase.
Bad luck. It's metaphase and anaphase. Another starter question. Now an archaeological site, which former Phoenician city in Cyprus is the byname of the philosopher Zeno, who is generally regarded...
Hartford Kinskin.
Elia.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Generally regarded as the founder of Stoicism.
Open Davidson.
Arimathea.
No, it's Cetium, not to be confused with Zeno of Ilia. Another starter question then. Subdued, austere beauty, rustic patina, and the pathos of things are among the aesthetic concepts of what country? These three being English translations of wabi, sabi, and mono...
Hartford Balakrishnan Raju.
Japan.
Correct. Your bonus questions then, Hertford, are on matrilineal societies. The Asante, or Ashanti, are often cited as a society in which women inherit status and property from their mothers. In which country do the Asante predominantly live?
Ghana.
Ghana.
It is Ghana, yeah. Identified as the world's largest matrilineal society, the Minangkabau inhabit which large island close to the Malay Peninsula?
I don't know.
Think of an island. It's not based. Philippines.
Philippines.
No, Sumatra. Matrilineal societies in which country include the Kazi people of the Meghalaya state and the Nair or Nayar in the south of the country?
India.
India.
Good job you got that one, isn't it? It is India. Yeah, another starter question. German, French, Italian, and which language are the 4 national languages of Switzerland?
Open Gavigan.
Romansh.
Romansh is correct, yes. Your bonuses then open are 3 questions on events of 1823. The UK Jails Act, passed in 1823, was largely based on the prison reform campaign of which Quaker philanthropist who has been called the Angel of Prisons?
Is this Bourneville? Is it Wilberforce?
Wilberforce is a Methodist.
What?
Wilberforce?
It's not
I thought it was a
Wilberforce.
Methodist.
Well, I know Bentham was.
Come on, give yourself a chance for high score.
Bentham.
No, it's Elizabeth Fry. In February 1823, which British explorer reached the southernmost position any ship had reached at that? And up the goal, the Open University had 155 points and Hertford College, Oxford had 230. Oh, Open. 155 is a very, very respectable score, but it seems unfair that your perfect knowledge of both punk rock and ancient Egypt didn't quite do it for you. But have you had a good time?
Yeah.
Fantastic time.
Yeah, well, we've loved having you. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll see you again. I don't know. Hertford 230 is solid and very, very strong. I see you're looking at Keskin. Is that because you feel he was a star man? Yeah. I've got to ask you about that very strange creature which is currently looking like... not one of you, by the way. I'm talking about the mascot. What is that?
It represents our college cat, Simkin. But he's not as fat as that in real life, but...
I guess we'll see it again. I hope you can join us next time for another first-round match, but until then, it's goodbye from Open University.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Hertford College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.